You've already seen hundreds of images today, on your phone, on social media, maybe without even thinking about it. But here's the problem. Most people don't actually understand what they're looking at. Images can be edited, they can be staged, they can be completely fake, and yet they still shape what we believe. So the real question isn't what are you seeing, it's do you actually know how to read it? Because in today's world, being literate isn't just about reading words. It's about understanding images. And that's what we're talking about today. Welcome to Studio CC. If you just finished the last series, we explored the rise, fall, and purpose of our education in America. Now we're shifting gears, because whether schools are ready or not, we are living in a digital visual world. Researchers like Spalter and Van Dam define digital visual literacy as the ability to both create and understand visual information using digital tools. And that includes everything from editing photos, designing graphics, analyzing media, interpreting images online, and even understanding how visuals shape what we believe. But here's the problem. Even though students are surrounded by screens and may look like digital natives, that doesn't mean they actually understand how visual communication works. In fact, many students can use the tools, but don't understand the ideas behind them. And that gap? That's exactly where our education comes in. Digital visual literacy isn't just about making cool images. It's about three key abilities: creating visual content, designing images, videos, graphics, or digital artwork that clearly communicate ideas, interpreting visual information, understanding what images mean, including hidden messages, bias, and manipulation, evaluating visual media, asking critical questions like, is this real? Who made this? What's the intention behind it? Because today, images aren't just representations of reality, they're constructed. As Spalter and Van Dam point out, digital images are essentially data, ones and zeros, that can be altered, replicated, and distributed instantly. Which means seeing is no longer believing. We've never lived in a time where images had this much power. The internet has turned everyone into a creator. The smartphone turned everyone into a photographer. And AI is turning everyone else into something else entirely. But with that power comes risk, because as researchers have shown, people often don't question images, even when they've been manipulated. And that's dangerous. This is why digital visual literacy isn't optional anymore. It's essential. Here's where things get really interesting. Our education has always been connected to technology. Even going back centuries, artists use the tools of their time to create meaning. And as Stankiewicz explains, technology and visual literacy have always been inseparable. From drawing tools, to printmaking, to photography, to digital media. Art has always been about understanding how tools shape meaning. But today, those tools are digital. And according to research, art classrooms are uniquely positioned to help students think critically, analyze visual culture, and create meaning through images. Because art teachers don't just teach tools, they teach how to think visually. But here's the catch. Integrating digital technology into our education isn't always easy. Some researchers describe it as an uneasy partnership. Schools often invest in devices, but not in the teaching strategies needed to use them meaningfully. And without that, technology becomes a distraction instead of a tool. Because simply clicking through software is not the same thing as learning. We also have to recognize something bigger. We don't just live with images, we live inside visual culture. Every day we interpret advertisements, social media posts, films, games, and online images. And as research shows, just because we see images constantly doesn't mean we understand them. That understanding has to be taught. So if digital visual literacy is this important, why isn't it being taught everywhere? And what happens when it's ignored? That's what we're diving into next. If you want to better understand and create visual content in today's world, this series is for you. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.